This is my review of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956, and no, not the one with Donald Southerland. I'll try to get to that one someday. This is the original, directed by Don Siegel. I had recently watched his film The Lineup, and I noticed that he directed this film as well, and realizing I've never actually watched it, I thought, hey, let's check this one out. The film was an adaptation of Jack Finney's 1954 science fiction novel, The Body Snatchers. Well, the film opens up with the character, Dr. Miles Bennell, and he has been arrested, and he's at a local hospital's psychiatric ward. He's played here by Kevin McCarthy, who I've seen in a number of films, but I must confess, I remember him most vividly from the film UHF with Weird Al Yankovic. I know, it's a weird, obscure reference, but hey, it's one of the funniest films ever. I know, I'm strange like that. Anyhow, he tells a psychiatrist, Dr. Hill, played by Whit Bissell, and another attending physician his whole story of crazy things that have been going on. And suddenly the screen starts to warble, you know, the doo-doo-doo-doo thing, and we go into flashback mode. So now we're back into his story. He's just arrived back into this small town. He was off at a medical conference, and once he's in town, he's greeted by Sally Withers, who's played by Jean Wiles, who is his nurse. Now, he's a doctor. His nurse gives him an update on what's going on and how he has several patients that are waiting for him. He gets back to his office, catches up a little bit, and soon he meets up with his former girlfriend, Becky Driscoll, who's played by Dana Winter. Dr. Miles goes back to his office where this kid is brought in, and he's hysterical. You know, he's saying that his mother just isn't the same person. And weird things like that will continue to happen as the film progresses. Later, he visits with Becky's cousin, Wilma, played by Virginia Christine, who, similar to the kid, is convinced that her uncle just isn't the same anymore. He's got the same memories and all, but somehow that's all changed and he's just a different person. Well, later, Dr. Miles and Becky, they go off for a romantic dinner together, but soon he is called off for a medical situation. So the two of them both go to the house of their friend. It's Jack and Teddy, played by King Donovan and Carolyn Jones, otherwise known as Morticia Addams. And anyhow, the two of them, they found this inert humanoid creature in their pool room. And it looks a lot like Jack, but it's got a lot of weird things like details missing, like no fingerprints and stuff. So they're wondering what in the world is going on. Dr. Miles takes Becky home, and her dad seems to be acting odd, you know, staying up late, hanging out in the basement. But we don't know what's going on yet, just a lot of weird things around town. Back at Jack and Teddy's place, however, this mysterious body starts to slowly awaken. Well, Dr. Miles calls for more help and then is concerned about Becky and heads over to her place. He breaks into the house by sneaking into the basement, and he makes a dark discovery. There is a duplicate of Becky growing in the basement. Well, he gathers up Jack and Dr. Dan Kaufman, played by Larry Gates, to see these bodies, but both have gone missing. Ooh. Well, a lot of the locals, they're still not quite convinced. They think that, maybe this doctor's overreacting, and even the police chief shows up and tells them all to disperse. Well, later, Miles, Becky, and Jack, and Teddy, I guess they kind of got beyond all the weirdness, like finding bodies and stuff, and they decide to have a barbecue. But Miles is going through this greenhouse that they have and finds enormous seed pods. And these things are pretty gross. I mean, for the 1950s, some pretty cool effects. The pods start to open and these inert body shapes fall out. Side note, when watching the movie and writing down your comments, it's not a great scene to be watching while you're eating a big bowl of Greek yogurt with blueberries. Well, anyhow, Dr. Miles starts stabbing at these bodies with a pitchfork, and Jack and Teddy, they separate and go their own way. So Dr. Miles and Becky, they try to get out of town at this point, but all around people are just getting weirder. And even at a gas station, this attendant secretly slips some of these mysterious pods into their trunk. Ooh. Well, Dr. Miles and Becky, they get into town and they hide out at his doctor's office. And realizing that the pods were most effective at replacing people when they were asleep, they take some drugs to stay awake. The next day, they watch as a mysterious gathering of people takes place down in the town street below. Jack, Dan, and Chief Griffith soon arrive, and Dr. Mile is relieved. He lets them in, thinking, oh boy, reinforcements are here, but too late. They've all switched over to become pod people as well. And they give a slow, careful, spooky message about just giving in. Just do what everyone else is doing. Don't resist. Don't question. Just fall into a sleepy surrender to be like them. I wonder if there's a message there for today. Well, anyhow, they resist. And they manage to escape, and soon they're on the run from this huge mob of alien people who chase after them. They do manage to find shelter in a cave, and they avoid detection for the time. But as sleeping apparently will cause you to fully transform into a pod alien, they have to stay awake and stay alive before these creatures will get to them. Well, can they survive? You got to watch this movie for yourself, because it's a doozy. I'm not going to give spoilers, but apparently they filmed two different endings to this film. There's a optimistic ending and a pessimistic one. I'll let you see for yourself what the filmmakers decided on here. And some quick closing thoughts. I love the creepy nature of this movie. The story of this couple on the run from seemingly everyone. And it's a little bit scarier that it's situated in a small town in the 1950s era. I mean, you think about that time frame, it's like everybody knows one another. And it's much more frightening when you think of all these locals, if they've all gone crazy coming after you. It's a lot different than our world today where, people are a little more insular. Well, it's even more creepy when you're one of two people left and falling asleep means life or death. And I thought the pod effects were really well done for the time frame. Particularly the effect as they slowly open and the bubbles come oozing out. It was really creepy. And they even made replicas of the actors that look fairly convincing. It really adds to that eerie effect as they basically see their doppelganger laying there inside of this oozy pod. The film was apparently shot in dozens of locations in and around Los Angeles and Sierra Madre, which served to represent this fictional city of Santa Mira. The picture, I guess, only took 19 days to make, according to Don Siegel, but I think it still looks great. I linked a couple of sites below into the description that explore more of the sites that have some of the photo references, and for kicks, I looked up a few. I think it's Kirsting Court in Sierra Madre, California, is the place where all the pod people gathered in the film. Now, Kevin McCarthy was really convincing here as the man on the run from a world gone crazy. And as an actor, I mentioned he was in UHF, but I also remember him from the film Inner Space, which was a fun film from the late 80s with Martin Short. I think he was this evil guy in that film, and he was also the bad guy in UHF, so it was funny to see him as the hero in this film. He also worked with Don Siegel on a previous film, An Annapolis Story, from 1955, so that's another one to add to my watch list. Dana Winter plays his lovely romantic interest, and I realized in looking her up that I recognized her from an obscure role as a guest star on Magnum P.I. She played an aging movie actress that I think Magnum had to act in a scene with her. And yes, I'm a big fan of the original Magnum P.I., especially when the characters go smashing through the fourth wall. I mean, even Higgins would do it from time to time. I might have to do a review of that series in the future. Sorry, I'm going way off topic. Well, the film was remade in 1978 as Invasion of the Body Snatchers, in which Kevin McCarthy did have a cameo role at the very beginning. And they also made another film in 93, Body Snatchers. And let's be honest, it's a formula that's been done quite a lot, even as recently as the series Stranger Things on Netflix. There are also themes that remind me of films like They Live, where it's basically the distrust of basically everything and everyone. There's a lot of that paranoia theme in the film. It's great stuff. Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956 was an entertaining sci-fi classic. It's got action, a little romance, a little bit of creepy horror, and the man-on-the-run formula in a world gone mad. And it's a classic. It's worth checking out. And just as a final afterthought, I watched this movie, and anything doing with pods and pod people, I can't help but be reminded of Mystery Science Theater. I think they did a spoof of this during their host segments for the movie The Giant Spider Invasion, where Pearl and the brain guy find some overgrown pods, but they refer to them as like giant zucchini, and they try to get Mike and the bots to become pod people as well. So I had to make a mention of that. I think it's on YouTube if you want to go watch The Giant Spider Invasion.